Hi, I'm Merle Newton. This video today is going to be about working your dog on horseback for the first time. There's nothing more fun than accomplishing a task, getting some cattle in, competing in a competition with your two best friends, your horse and your dog. And a lot of dogs that haven't been worked horseback, sometimes they think of horses as livestock. And so the way we like to do ours is basically the first time the dog sees a horse, we want to be on the horse. We want the dog to think that that horse is a part of us. And I have a couple of young dogs here this morning that have not been worked horseback. All the dogs that come here have not been kept away from horses until they're old enough to start training on horses. But basically, we start them all the same way. We just get the dog hooked on the livestock out there a little bit. The dog doesn't have to be perfectly trained, doesn't have to know everything. Just a little bit of body language and just be able to stop him, lay him down, move him around a little bit. And then you can just get on the horse and get the dog acquainted with it. Got a little bit of good background music here today. We're weaning calves today here at the ranch, and this is the first day, a really nice warm day of summer. So anyway, we'll just get on with it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is tie my horse just outside the gate where I can get at her. I'm going to check cinch, make sure she's ready to go, because I don't want to have to fool around when I get ready to get on my horse. My dog's tied up, so I'm going to go get my dog, lead him in the arena. I'm not going to take any chances on exposing him to the horse. I'm pretty sure this dog is not going to bother the horse, but I just don't want to take any chances. Now, it's not about training the dog here, just about teaching him to work with the horse. He's going to take off here as soon as I lift up that paddle, and a little premature, but I'm not even going to correct him. I don't care if he's doing something wrong, if he's not doing it exactly right. The idea here today is just to get him used to working with a horse. So basically I want the livestock between me and the dog. Lay the dog down. Now I'm going to lead my horse. And one thing I want to be sure that you understand is that you have to have a good gentle horse that's used to all this stuff, that's used to working with a dog, used to waving that rattle paddle around his head and so forth. If your horse isn't used to this, this could be really, really dangerous. So anyway, I'm just going to untie my horse, lead her in the arena. I've had her outside the arena fence, so there's no chance for my dog to think of the horse as being part of this herd of livestock. I'm going to be able to keep my eye on my dog all the time. I'm just going to take my time about getting on the horse, make sure that my dog is laying down, make sure he's focused on the livestock. I'm just using some good old gentle cattle here today. Okay, now I'm on my horse. Give him a rattle paddle here. I'm using this paddle because it is something the dog's familiar with. It helps to simulate the same body language that I used when I was on foot. I can't move my body, turn my body, step toward the dog and so forth like I could on foot when I was first training him. But I did use a stick or a paddle when I was starting him to kind of direct him around a little bit, push him around. So I'm going to use that rattle paddle in the same way. Now this little dog's doing really well. I'm pretty sure he's an outside dog. He came in for training, but I'm pretty sure that he has not been loose with horses. If your dog is loose with horses and out running around in the field with them, they start to think of them as livestock. Then you got to try to tell the dog the difference. You got to say, okay, you got to discriminate between types of livestock. This way, the dog never thinks of the horse as being livestock. He just thinks of the horse as part of the human. So what I'm doing here is I'm just asking him to go around the horse. I'm exposing the horse to the dog so that he has to go around the horse. I'm going to stir things up a little bit here, move the horse a little faster, and see if I can just get the dog used to the movement of the horse without being affected by the movement of the horse at all. just balancing to me here the stuff that he's familiar with, he knows. I want to try to get it set up here where I can send the dog around the horse, where it looks like that the horse might be a part of the livestock to the dog, and see if he is going to pay any attention to it at all. I'm pretty sure this little dog's not, because of the way he's acting here right now. Okay, now there'd be a real good chance for him to include that horse in the herd there, but he didn't do it. Goes right on past the horse, right around to the cows. He's starting to get the idea that the horse is part of the human. Now I'm just going to call him off, just like I always do when I walk out of the arena. Now I'm not going to try to make him heel, stay with my horse. He's thinking about getting a drink of water. I'm just happy to see that he's not thinking of the horse as livestock. He goes on over to the gate here. Now, sometimes I might get off right here and not let my dog be exposed to the horse this much, but this dog's done so nice that I'm going to just call him off and ride out the gate, and I'm not going to worry about it. He's thinking about going to get a drink anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and tell him, get a drink, boy. Got a couple more dogs to do today. I'm going to show you a couple more. Now Brian here is a little bit different kind of dog. For one thing, he's a little bit different breed. He's half Kelpie and half Border Collie. Brian came to me when he was about a year old, and he's already indicated to me that he might be thinking of horses as livestock, because I see him kind of eyeing the horses and looking at the horses already today. But we're going to take care of that. We're going to address that. Another thing about Brian is that his MO is that if the training pressure gets a little too much, if he's not quite happy with the way things are going, he'll just leave. He'll just quit and leave the arena. So I've had to work with that quite a bit with him. I got him where he's pretty confident to stay in there and work, take a little training pressure. Today, we're going to start working him horseback. That'll be even more pressure on him. And so we'll just see how that goes. Okay, same deal here. I got my horse tied outside the fence. Bring old Brian in. Now I'm going to work him a little bit on foot, just because I want to make sure that he's hooked on the stock good and paying close attention to his cows. Like I said, I think Brian would be one that would want to include the horse in his herd. Walk down toward my cows a little bit so I can get a pretty decent outrun here. Get him to go out wide enough to pick up his cows. Just some stuff that he's familiar with. I don't really care if he makes a little mistake today, if he cuts one off, if he does something wrong. He's not a fully trained dog. Once I get him used to working horseback, I'll get all those things straightened out. I just work him around here on foot a little bit. Get him hooked on stock really good. So I'm doing the same maneuvers that I'm going to do when I get on horseback. And I'm using the rattle paddle the same way. And once he kind of gets used to working these calves a little bit and focused on them good, not thinking about the horse, I'm going to go do the same thing, go over and get my horse. I've kept her outside the arena. If I had somebody here to hand her to me, that'd be even a little bit more help, or somebody to turn the dog loose for me. Once again, I want to remind you, you got to have the right kind of horse for this. You start waving that rattle paddle around a horse that's not used to it, and you'll be on the ground. So just make sure your horse is not shy of dogs or rattle paddles. Make sure that your horse is the right horse for this job. Put the paddle where I can get a hold of it. Stand it up there so I can reach it when I get on my horse. Uh-oh, Brian, he's coming in already. He's telling me that he's going to include this horse in his herd. So I'm going to stay on the ground for a little bit, where I can kind of stay in between him and the horse if I need to. Keep him off of the horse. I'm just going to force him to go back to those cattle. He almost acts like he'd rather have a horse. He'd rather work a horse than a cow. So he's a good subject for today's video. Okay, we got him hooked on the stock again. Get him laid down. Now I'm going to step on the horse. Keep an eye on old Brian here, make sure he doesn't come in. Try to heel my horse. Get this paddle here in my right hand so I can move it. Now I want the livestock moving. I want them trotting off from me a little bit, because the movement is what really attracts the dog. You know, the movement in the prey is what attracts the predator. So those trotting calves, I don't care if he does it wrong. He's kind of left-handed. He wants to go to the right all the time, so we don't care if he doesn't go to the left. We just want him working cattle, chasing cattle, whatever, while I'm in the arena with him horseback. I'm going to lay him down. I'm going to start giving him a little bit of body language. Let him walk up on his cattle a little bit. Now I'm exposing the horse to him a little here, but I'm going to force him to go on around, and he's going, no, I'd rather include the horse. Going, no, you better go work those cattle. I'm going to say, okay, now, see what this horse is business. I'll run over you with this horse if you try to bite it. Okay, he says, well, I guess I will work the cattle then. Laid him down. There we go. I'm just kind of driving the cattle toward him, getting the cattle between me and him, waving the paddle around, just kind of letting him go to balance, something that he's used to doing. You can balance off this horse just the same as you can without the horse. Now then, he had a perfect opportunity there to include the horse as part of his herd, but he chose to go to the cow. So we can see some progress being made here. Now he's going to go past the horse, go around that cow. Went a little bit too wide that time, but here we go. He's going to go back the other way, past the horse, go around and get the cows. Just letting him more or less go to balance, letting him figure out that he balances to that horse just like he does to me when I'm on foot. Now I'm going to call him off, and oh, no, we're not calling him off yet. We're going to send him around one more time. We don't want to make this session real long. You can start to see a lot of progress here where Brian is starting to think of the horse as part of the human. Now here we go to call him off. I'm going to be ready for him. Yep, he's going to come right in and heel that horse. That's a good thing about that rattle paddle, is it won't hurt him seriously. It's just kind of blunt on the end, and I can whack him with it. That's another place where you got to make sure you have a good, gentle horse that's not going to get upset when you throw that rattle paddle down there. Now Brian, he's thinking about quitting, because he's just going, hey, you're just... So I just ride down there and kind of call him a little bit. Kind of ride toward him with the horse a little bit. I'm trying to talk him into going back to work again. I don't want to quit on a bad note if I don't have to. I think he kind of got the message, though, that he's not supposed to heel the horse. Just that perfect timing there of just that bump coming in with that rattle paddle just when he's thinking about it. Now he's going to go, no, I'm just going to quit altogether. This is kind of his MO. If we don't, well, no, you don't either. You don't get a chance to quit. He's thinking about leaving the arena. I'm stopped him from leaving the arena. At least I got him to lay down here. He's laying down right there behind that little platform. So I'm just going to go over and bring the cows over to him. Present the cows to him again. Get them moving. Now, movement of the livestock is what's going to attract him. Get him to come back on the livestock again. And quitting won't work, boy. You just got to stay here and work with me and the horse. He might not be working quite as enthusiastically as he was before, but I got to make sure I get him hooked on the livestock good before I quit. Yeah, he goes around, picks him up, balances to me. So we got off to a good start there. Now we're going to take a little lunch break, come back, bring Brian back in one more time. I wanted you to see this so you can see the improvement in Brian. I'll forego some of the things that you've already seen here. Got Brian in the arena laying down already. Just bring my horse in, and he's already out there and hooked on the stock. I'm going to just take the time though to just stay on foot here a little bit and stay in between him and the horse, so that he doesn't have the opportunity to come in and include the horse in his herd. Looks like everything's going good. Make sure my cameraman's on the job here. Brian's working good. Lay him down. Got the cattle in between me and Brian. Brian's laying down. Now I'm going to step on my horse. Make sure I keep an eye on the dog. The horse kind of moving away from me a little bit there. Brian's going to go cover his cows. Looking good. Now he might not be doing this exactly the way I would have him do it. In fact, part of the reason I'm teaching him to work with a horse is so I can start training him better to work horseback. If I can train him from horseback, I can move around better, be in better position. That's the way he's going to be used anyways, horseback. Our part of the country, if your dog won't work with a horse, sometimes you can get by with a four-wheeler, but some of this country you got to be able to cover horseback. Of course, if you're going in a road deer competition, you're going to be on horseback. Now it looks like Brian is willing to walk out of the arena with me, with my horse. He's going to run ahead of me a little bit here, and I'm not going to get too upset about it. But he's pretty much give up the idea of including this horse as part of his herd. Now this sure works a whole lot better than going out there and leading him up to the horse and beating him up and telling him, no, 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 you've got to learn the difference in livestock. I'm just saying, no, you got to learn that the horse is part of the human. You work off of the horse just like you do a person. Now I just let him know I still love him. Next time it'll be a whole lot better. Tie my horse inside the fence this time. Make Brian lay down. Let him come out the gate. I think Brian got a lot out of that session today. Now I'm going to show you one more little dog. This is just my morning, I guess, for starting dogs on horseback. And this little dog I trust a whole lot more. You notice he's already out in the arena laying down, and I'm sending him after his cows. I want to call him back over here by me. He's not real sure about coming up to the horse, but I'm just going to just reassure him that this horse is just part of me, boy. I'm going to walk out with my horse this time, just like I would if I was just on foot. The reason I trust this dog more to do this is because I raised him, and I know that he's never been loose with horses. He's never had the opportunity to work a horse. The only time he's seen a horse is when it's with me. So just one more quick little dog work here. Same story. I'll just stand down here on foot a little bit and let him get his cattle under control. Then lay him down, back side of the stock. This dog here is probably ready to go outside even with a saddle horse. So I'm going to step on my horse and just go ahead and do the same thing that we've done before. Well, all right, we're going to end up here with a kind of a pretty little scene of bringing some cattle across the creek with a young dog. I want to thank you for watching this video, and once again I want to caution you to be careful, to make sure that your dog doesn't heel your horse. Make sure you have a good gentle horse when the first time you do this. And just start making your dog think that the horse is a part of you, rather than trying to ask your dog to discriminate between types of livestock. So thank you again for buying this video. I'm Merle Newton, and I'll see you down the road.